and welcome to Style Bites with Thea Wood. That's me, Austin's signature stylist. And I'm really excited today because we have local designer and rising star Ross Bennett with us. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
My next question are kind of in regards to what a lot of our viewers and my clients deal with, which are major life changes, things that either they want to change or they just find themselves into. And I know that you made a huge change. Ross went to UT and was an architecture major originally.
Law.
Oh, law.
Yeah,
oh,
so
excuse
totally
me.
different, not even
oh
design.
Gosh. Okay, I thought it was architecture, law. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then all of a sudden this huge shift into fashion and textiles and so on and so forth. Why the change?
I started taking philosophy and psychology classes first semester of college, and I wasn't a guy that liked to read. I mean, if you looked at my test scores from going into school, it was all math and science is what I was good at, and comprehension and English was not my forte at all. So I figured if I can't even do that, why even trying to go in this field? You know, I was trying to follow my dad's footsteps, and I was a model for a long time growing up and was in the fashion industry and always loved it and always did all that stuff. And my mom said, go take a fashion class, and I walked into a room of like, 500 women, and it was like, okay, maybe I can figure something out here for the freshman in college, whatever. And from that point, I started like really understanding clothing and like got really good at figuring out how to make a woman's figure accentuate the parts that she wants to accentuate without being over the top, and so I started studying classical designs, and that's where my whole aesthetic and feel and vibe and kind of conservative take on clothing comes from.
Where all that came from. You said also in the past that there were a lot of naysayers and people who were saying, what are you doing? What are you thinking? How did you overcome that? Because I know a lot of people, when they try to make a huge change, face the same type of challenge where people feel like they're putting up walls for you.
Yeah, it was tough, going through fraternity, being a fashion design major. It was, you could imagine.
I can imagine.
But at the same time, every time we had to go to events or we'd go on trips or we'd go somewhere, I'd get a phone call, I'd get a text message, someone would come over, hey man, can I really wear this with this? Can I do this with that? So it was always a give and take. And you got to find something that you want to do that's passionate. And I realized that this is something that I look forward to waking up and doing every day. So, if you can find it, once it hits you that one day and you're like, you're stuck in an office doing something, you get a great idea and you're like, should I take the risk? If you're that passionate about it, do it, because the beginning is tough. I mean, being an entrepreneur is hard.
Right.
And, fortunately for me, I've gotten now this exposure on TV that I can use to launch my next business, but everybody's going to catch something. Everyone will have their chance.
Well, and it's kind of like what they say, there's no such thing as an overnight sensation.
Exactly.
People have been working years and years at it, you just didn't know it. It was happening behind the scenes. So I understand where you're going there. Actually, next I'd kind of like to talk a little bit about your championing custom wear, especially for women. We don't really have much of a market there. Most women have never even been through the process. And I know you're big on it. Why custom?
So, custom to me, it gives the female or male, whoever comes to order something from me, this special feeling that no one else is going to have that piece, or they get to take full part in making the very first garment of that kind.
Right. And,
a lot of my clients, they go to events where they have to see their husband's business partner's wife that they really don't get along with, or they're seeing like their co-chair at a junior league event that they really have just, they do it because they have to, and they put a smile on their face and they're very professional. But the last thing a woman wants to hear is, I saw that dress at Saks last week, I tried it on, but it looks so much better on you. Versus, that whole satisfaction of you buying that dress and feeling so great is out the door.
Right.
So when you walk into a room and no one else is going to have this dress, you took part in fitting it, you took part in picking fabrics, you know the person who made it for you, you were a part of the whole fitting process. You don't care what anybody says to you the rest of the night, except for, where did that come from?
Right.
Where did you find it? It was made for me.
And a lot of times what I'm telling people is there's a myth, and it's called ready to wear. There's nothing that's ready to wear. Tim Gunn was at Barton Creek Mall yesterday, right. And one of the things that he said is very, very few people can wear something straight off the rack. And so I think that we need to start thinking more about that and customizing versus just a label. And kind of being more ourselves and truer to ourselves in that direction.
Sure, and like even if you look at the names that everybody wants to wear, Chanel, Dior, Valentino, that's how they started. They were all custom dressmakers. They were all doing things for high-end people all over the world, and that's kind of how they got started in doing their own thing. And that's like kind of what I'm trying to bring back, is this old-fashioned way of buying. So I have a really big problem with throwaway fashion. I would much rather a client come to me and spend $200 on a skirt than go to like Forever 21 or I Got You 2 and buy $200 worth of 4 garments and like rip one that weekend, and they say, oh, it's only 50 bucks, I really don't care.
I don't care.
You know, and then that to me is just like such a waste.
It's a waste.
You can buy one skirt, but you can wear it with 5 different tops. I always tell guys when I style men, you can get 1 gray suit, 4 shirts, a couple ties, and you can have endless looks with the same suit. So, you know, that's something that I'm trying to help bring back, is this whole custom, special, unique. You know, once a dress is made for you, the first one, it is somehow has your name incorporated into the dress, goes on the website in the way we made it for you. And then if people want to order that silhouette, they can order it. So your name is now attached to a piece forever in our collection.
Well, I hope more people do that, and especially Austinites, I hope that they all call you. I would like to take a few minutes to look at your garments, but beforehand, while we're still sitting, I wanted to ask one more question. My motto is sharing strategies for a positive self-image. And obviously a lot of how we feel on the outside is reflected on, or on the inside is reflected on the outside. You can tell when somebody's having a bad day without them saying a word. But what would you say would be something that you would give as a key success factor to having a positive self-image?
I mean, for me, staying groomed and on top of just keeping everything nice and clean, you know, in your life and in your way you dress and everything like that is probably the best thing that I could say. Because that, just having a whole like cohesive spot that's clean and fresh and always up to date will help you stay up to date, and then it will help your clothes. Like the people I see that are like schlubby and schlaggy all over town, regardless if they're millionaires or not, it's just like, where does that, what's this connection here? You know, do you like dressing sloppy because you can? You know what? I don't know. I always like the idea of dressing to impress, and I think that's very important. And when you impress yourself the way you dress, you'll feel better about yourself, I think.
I think that's great advice, and thank you for that tip. And we're going to take a little break, and we'll get ready to look into your garments and talk about the custom measuring process. Thank you so much for going through that process and for sharing it with me.
Yes.
Ross, I hope to see you again soon.
Yes, I love it.
And wish you the best of luck, and please join us again sometime.
I will, anytime.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks again, and that is a wrap with another Style Bite. Have a great day.